it is time for a tag. So today we're going to do a tag. What this tag is there is a group of people that all receive a series of questions, and we all will answer them, and we will all post them on our own channels on a certain day of the month. And the good thing about this is that way you get to learn more about me, but you can also go down in the description box and you can learn more about other people, and you might just find a YouTube channel that you really like that way. So let's get to the questions. Question number 1, what is the first thing you do in the morning? The very, very, very first thing I do on weekdays when the alarm goes off is I moan. Really? The first thing I do when I get out of bed is I go to the bathroom. Plain and simple. Now, if it's a weekend, I might actually not moan, but I might just lay in bed and read and enjoy a little bit of quiet time before I get up. Until I have to pee so bad that I have to get up. But yes, the first thing I do when I get out of bed is I pee. Number 2, what do you eat for breakfast? What is the first thing you eat in the day? And for me lately, that has been Cheerios and a bowl of berries. I'm a creature of habit. I am thinking about changing that and doing some intermittent fasting, so my first thing would be lunch at that point, but as of right now, it is Cheerios. Number 3, who is the first person you talk to every day? Now, I only live with one person, so I think that answers the question. First person I talk to is Jason. He is not a morning person, so I usually don't say anything to him until he's already had his shower. So it's a good 30 to 40 minutes after I wake up before I say anything to a human. Now that said, my dog does think she's human and she thinks she's all that. So, you know, the first living thing I speak to is the dog, because she lays right beside me on the floor. So when I get out of bed, I either have to jump over her, straddle her, or whatever, and I usually pat her on the head and be like, hey, baby girl. And then, of course, when I go out in the kitchen, she runs out after me, and I take her out at 5 in the morning, so she and I are chatting the whole morning. Number 4, what is the first video you posted and how many views did it get? My first video that I did was an introduction to who I am, what I'm doing, and back then when I first started the channel, it was going to be a bike channel because I was learning to mountain bike. And so it was all about mountain biking and my quest to be a fat mountain biker and lose weight while mountain biking. And so I started with that. I got it was about 4 years ago, I had maybe 100, 150 views on it. It was removed within the first couple months because I actually shifted my focus to more weight loss with fitness as a side versus being the focus of mountain biking. Number 5, you get to choose the restaurant. What is your choice? That changes day to day. Today's choice was Chinese, and Jason should be arriving with it here within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Tomorrow might be pizza. I really do like Outback's Alice Springs chicken. Lately, I've been craving the Panera Bread Cinnamon Crunch Bagel. I could eat a real good diner food. Yeah, it really just depends on my mood. I do know what Jason would say, and that would be El Bandito. It's a Mexican restaurant in Elk Hill, West Virginia, very, very near New River Gorge. And whenever we are there, we usually eat there a couple times during the week because their food is fabulous. And yes, we need a trip to New River Gorge. Number 6, you get to choose what's for dinner. What would you choose? And I'm assuming that this means what's for dinner, as in I'm going to make it at home. And here we are going to say that I have the palate of a 5-year-old. My first choice of food would be a grilled cheese and like maybe tomato soup, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That is like God's gift to the human race, peanut butter and jelly. I don't like a lot of meat, so you know, there you go. But yeah, those 2 things would be my top choice for food if I was on my own and, you know, not making other people suffer with my childish choices. Number 7, what is your first dessert choice? Cake. If it's dessert, I would probably choose cake. Cake or cookies. Not much of a pie fan, so it would be cake. Right now I'd probably say my Elvis cake, which is a banana cake with ganache and peanut butter, and it's a little bit of mix of everything, and it's excellent. If my mom was alive and cooking, I would say the Smith Island cake, which was a cake that she made. It's the Maryland State cake, actually, and she made a killer one. But I may have to make my own Smith Island cake here since Mom is gone. Number 8, you are given $10,000 to spend on whatever you want. What would you spend it on? Now, I'm responsible, so I would pay off the car. We owe a little bit more on the car. I would, do responsible things with it. Actually, I would be between a deck and a hot tub. I really, really, really want a hot tub. I had a hot tub when I was married before. And when people say, do you miss anything about your marriage? My first answer invariably is always, well, I miss the hot tub. So I want a hot tub really bad. But I have to say deck because I kind of need a deck to put the hot tub on. So it's like a 1-2 punch. I kind of need 20,000. So yeah, I'd probably say the deck because that would get me one step closer to my hot tub. Number 9, who is the first person you talk to when you have a problem? My husband, 100%. Jason is the person I go to. Now, I will say that when my mom was alive, even when she was in the nursing home and she was not always clear-minded, I still always talked to her. She was one of my sounding boards. Even when she wasn't clear-minded, she always listened. Number 10, if you could go to any sporting event, what would it be and why? I actually like hockey. Now, there's not many sports I would actually follow. Years ago, I followed tennis back when Andre Agassi was playing because he was just hot. But, the only sport that I really have consistently followed or would actually do would be hockey. I really enjoy ice hockey. I would go to an NHL game. I would go to a minor league game. They're all fun. Sometimes the minor leagues are even more fun because the players are really scrappy. They're really fighting for position. They want to be seen. They want to make their name. So they're like really pushing. So sometimes minor league games are really good. So I would do hockey. The reason I like hockey is because I don't like the sports that you stop play and then it waits for 5 minutes. I don't like the sports that you take forever. Hockey is so fast moving. I mean, they're down on one end of the ice being offensive, and then within seconds, if you blink, they're back up in the defensive zone and they're fighting off. And it's just fast paced. It moves. There's a little bit of scrappiness because they're pushing and shoving. It's just kind of fun. Give grown men sticks and see what happens. So anyway, those are the 10 questions we have, but definitely check out the people that are participating. They're all in my description. And don't forget, no excuses.